guys. It's October 2nd, and there's less than 30 days left to get this car finished. So right now I'm just really like in a time crunch, and I'm pretty stressed out, and if you call the shop, I probably won't be able to talk to you. I'm sorry. It's really cutting it down to the wire now, and I feel like I really have a lot of stuff to do. We're running into troubles here and there, nothing too crazy. Biggest trouble is going to be time. Like I said, less than 30 days. This car really needs to get wrapped up pretty soon. Right now I'm mostly focused on wiring. I wanted to save that to the end because, you know, stuff changes, mounting and location of things tend to change. Unfortunately, when the car was at Willie Works getting the interior sprayed, I started doing some wiring. Ended up kind of getting ahead of myself, unfortunately, and there was changes. Because I want the car perfect, I decided that it's better to just pretty much, you know, relay the harness rather than try to like just, you know, make the changes accordingly. I mean, in any other situation you'd think, oh, whatever, just repin some things, but it wasn't quite that easy, and I really want it to be right. So I'm just kind of starting fresh. Good news is that I only kind of did like some of the ECU and some of the under dash. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm redoing that. ECU section's done, and I'm starting to work on the dash and some engine stuff right now. So I'm probably like 3 or 4 days into wiring. I'd figure it's probably going to take another like 2 weeks of wiring to get the car kind of ready to go. Let's get into changes since last time. You know, obviously been doing some wiring, so we have that going. None of the wiring is actually really on the car, so it's easy to kind of like miss that. Or, you know, it looks like I'm doing nothing, but I've been doing a lot of wiring work. Also, we put some livery on the car. We did a Rywire stripe, just like the John Sabal rendering that you guys may or may not have seen. Porsche GT3 RS style. So it actually adds a lot to the car. It looks really cool, and I'm totally into it. Let's see, we have some glass on the car now, the rear quarter windows. Still no windshield because I want to wait till the end on that to be able to have the dash go in and out. It's way easier to just put it in from the top. Let's see, there's moldings and stuff on the doors. Like the interior is completely done, moldings everywhere. It's really starting to look like a car now, so pretty happy about that. We added some more brake lines, some of the soft, a lot of the cars plumbed hard line, but we added all the soft lines and got all those ends done. Fuel plumbing is back into the car for the most part. I have to do like a couple dry sump lines, but otherwise a lot of the plumbing and everything is all done. Vacuum lines for the turbo I still have to put in because I need to put wiring in, and then that, because I could, you know, show you guys more later, but some of the vacuum lines are going to the wiring boxes and whatnot, so that's kind of time consuming. Let's see, that's kind of it for changes since last time, I think. It's hard for me to remember. I kind of wanted to touch on the history of the car. A lot of people, you know, may or may not know that the history of this car actually came from the, you know, obviously the car came from Japan. It was a rando body kitted car. Everybody calls it the McDonald's Rando Kit Integra because it's actually, it was red and yellow, like split up, top and bottom, red and yellow. Pretty interesting, crazy, like, you know, very 90s looking car. You know, body kit, paint, like it was a very show car. And I was lucky enough to acquire it because the car was like sold and then stolen, and the original owner got it back, and then, you know, he sold it to me for like $900 as like just a shell. It had a little bit of body damage, and I mean the car, I originally planned on just restoring this car back to completely OEM original. Like I wanted to do like a Rio Red on it, or you know, something along those lines. And then I had a friend that really wanted to cage it, and I was like, okay, let's do a cage. You know, what could that hurt? You know, a nice cage is always something that I always wanted on a build. And then from then it just kind of snowballed and turned into, I was gonna paint it teal. We actually got Sunny actually painted some of the car teal, and then I decided, no, let's redo it orange, so went that route, and it's kind of turning into what it is today. So there's a lot of history on the car. I don't know too much about the car while it was in Japan, but I do know that it was kind of like a show car for the US. Kind of a neat car to follow because it's kind of a ricer kind of looking car, but definitely cool at the same time because, you know, like those body kits are hard to get today and are still really popular. So it's kind of neat to, if you even just Google, you know, Rando Integra, you'll find pictures of it. So kind of neat history of the car, and you know, some of the guys were on social media were saying, you know, oh, why would you do that to a Type R? Well, I planned on restoring it, but there's certain things that, you know, I had to replace the front end, the front core support, because it was slightly bent. So I mean, when it's kind of like damaged goods, you might as well just run with it, you know. I also wanted to talk briefly on the purpose of the car. You know, we got guys that are saying, oh, you know, you better race it, this and that. You know, they have to understand one thing, and that I am a business owner. The purpose of the car originally was just to restore a really nice Type R and, you know, drive it around. It didn't quite turn into that. As time progressed, it kind of just became like a challenge for me. Like, you know, how can I reinvent the wheel, so to speak? How can I kind of go above and beyond and think about creative ideas that may or may not work? So it's kind of snowballed into this giant, like, just build challenge for me. The car really is being built for my company, for Rywire, to showcase our work and to show what we're truly capable of and what we can do. Another great thing about the car is that it's being built to time attack racing, you know, road race specifications, and the car should do amazing on the racetrack. Obviously with the paddle shifting system and the dry sump and all these really nice race parts, I'd be crazy not to want to race it. So the plan for the car is to, number one, meet my challenge and get the car finished and have something to show for SEMA. Also for me to showcase my work for all the companies that have helped me out in the past. You know, everybody that's on board with helping me with the car, I really want to give them something back if they want to use the car for display purposes, etc. That's really important for us. And then eventually, when, you know, that dies down a little bit, I have to get my marketing dollars out of this car. I'm spending a lot of money on the car, and it has to work itself off. So we're making sure that, you know, it's out there and it's being seen and it's giving good brand recognition to my business. Then, you know, maybe this might be a year later. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'd hate to build a car and spend ridiculous amounts of money and time, and I've been working on the thing for 6 months straight, like every single day. I'd hate to just take it out on the track the first day and put it into a wall, hurt myself, hurt the car, whatever the case may be. I can't have that happen. So we're gonna make sure that the car gets a lot of advertising, and when that's all done and, you know, we don't feel that it's relevant, and that could be 365 days from now, I want to take it on the track. I'm not a professional race car driver. I'll take it out, have fun with it for sure. It's going to be a blast to drive, but I am prepared to put somebody in the driver's seat and see what it can do in, you know, racing, sanctioning bodied racing. Like, let's take it out, let's do some time attack events, and let's see what the car could really do. Another item that I've been working on for the car for a while now is the new custom OMP steering wheel. I chose OMP because it's factory equipment on a lot of the Porsche Cup Series cars. I really like the steering wheel, and it's a small size, which is good for fitment in the car. It's like 330 or something, so it's quite small. what I've done to this wheel, aside from it just being a factory O&P wheel, is I added a backing plate to it, and then I added some switches, and then the paddle shift clickers, and some nifty wiring in the back too. So basically what I have here, I have about 16 switches on my center console, and that's, you know, plenty enough, but I wanted to have some switches that were like driver controlled, so I wouldn't even have to take my hands off the wheel really to get to them. I added a page button, so that would be basically for my digital dash to advance the screens to another page. Also an alarm acknowledgement, so alarm acknowledgement would be if there was like a coolant temperature warning, or like, you know, lambda out of range, or some kind of engine vital that I had programmed. It could alert me on the dash, and then I could acknowledge it and say, okay, you know, go away, I understand, whatever. Also, I have neutral and reverse. So because this transmission's fitted with a sequential transmission, because this car is fitted with a sequential transmission, I need the ECU to know when I'm in neutral as well as reverse. So these are buttons to just basically tell the computer that I am in one of those two gears. Also, I fitted paddles to the back of it, so it's going to be an upshift, downshift. These are really nice, super crisp feel. It really adds a lot to the wheel. Very cool part. Also, a couple potentiometer knobs on there for me. This is a 4-position switch. You could probably do like different map, maybe like boost maps with that. This is a 12-position switch, so we could do like traction control and like fine tuning with that one. It's kind of like on the fly stuff. And then as well as, let's see, we also have custom wiring in the back. That took me a good while to create all that and figure out what boots and everything will best fit over all those buttons and knobs and whatnot. And then a curly cord with an auto sport connector that's going to plug directly into the front of the dash, and Sparco quick release. So far, I really like the wheel. It's exactly how I wanted it to turn out. There was a lot of time invested, but I really like the end product. The thing I've been working on is the engine harness. Every engine sensor on the car is going to be terminated to an auto sport connector. And then all the auto sport connectors are going to be fixed or secured to a fixed point on the car. And in many cases, they're going to be in boxes similar to this. So what my plan and goal of this whole build was to have a sensor with an auto sport connector terminating into a box like this, and then the box acting as a junction point where every sensor, instead of it just being like zip tied to something, it can actually go into a device that can be removed, and it can make life easier for servicing, and also to build into devices like this for just simplicity and ease. So this box is basically designed and is multi-purposed in a lot of different ways. It started off basically as a means for my shifter actuator to mount to my transmission. So these two bolts were mounted to the transmission, shift actuator was here, and it acted as a nice point where the actuator can plunge back and forth on itself and have a nice strong point to be secured to. And I then realized, well, I need to build wiring to this too, so we made this box on top of it. And then I felt, well, it'd be great if I could hide my wideband, my lambda to CAN box inside of here somehow. And also, I need a place to mount my boost solenoid. So all these little things kind of came together and turned into this box. So how this basically is laid out is we got main engine loom coming in this side. These are all different sensors, wastegate position, transmission potentiometer. All these different devices are all through the top. There's a solenoid box on my frame rail, so that gets wired to here on this side. And then there's a wideband coming from my exhaust manifold, and that is just the lambda sensor coming straight into the back here. Inside is the lambda to CAN box, and then I needed the spot obviously to mount the boost solenoid, so we just secured that on the back, and we have vacuum lines that will go to the turbo and then to the wastegates. So this box is pretty trick. You might be wondering what all the different colors mean. The colors are actually designations for different keyways. So basically everything cannot be plugged into itself in the wrong order, etc. I also plan on making some labels for the top of this box, so it's even more foolproof. You can't mix it up or like somehow force a connector into one of the sensors. So this is a very time-consuming piece that took a long time to design, get coating on it, bolt stuff to it, and then wire. So this has been a good several days of my time right here on this piece. So thanks for watching. We hope to have one, maybe two more updates before the car is finished. So keep tuned in to the Chronicles and our Instagrams, and hopefully we'll actually have something when the car fires up. We'll be able to show you guys maybe in streaming or somehow some kind of real-time-ish ways. Maybe we can have it streaming while we're actually getting the car programmed and actually firing up. So see you guys next time. Thanks.